Hi everyone, back again. First off, I wanted to say I sincerely appreciate that you all watch my videos. It means the world to me. Sort of an underspoken person, whatever the terminology is, but here we go again with an interesting video. So first off, I'm going to tell you a little story. I used to do a lot of waterfowling, more than I do nowadays, just because of no time, which I'm sure you all know about. And I was at some kind of a game preserve, you know, where waterfowl settle, and they're protected within the reserve. And then when they lift, you can hunt them, you can shoot them. So all around this preserve were hunters, and anyway, I was a lot younger. This goes back a couple of decades, and I kept hearing a noise, like a whooshing sound from a blind down the way. And of course, nobody walks over to somebody else's blind, so I kept hearing they would fire, and I would hear this sound like whoo. It's hard to imitate the sound, but anyway, I didn't want to wander over there, but there was some communication, and I waved to them, they waved to me, and so on. So I walked over there, and one of the guys had one of the shotguns that I'm showing you today, and I said, I'm just so curious, what's making that sound? And maybe you already know where this is headed, I have no idea. Anyway, the guy had taken buckshot loads and opened the shells, and what he showed me was like a wire, like piano wire or some kind of wire. He split them open like split shot, like a fishing thing, and wired his buckshot together. I don't know if this is legal or not, but it's ages old. And so when he fired, I guess it was the piano wire making the noise. I have no idea. And I looked at it, and I'm not like an expert, but I felt that maybe the piano wire would come out from the buckshot. But maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Maybe it was the wire flying alone. Anyway, this guy was making these incredible hits on these Canada geese, and I mean way out there with, it was this shotgun. I mean, not this very shotgun, but this model of shotgun. And anyway, so that's my wired goose buckshot story. And what are we looking at today from my collection? This is a Marlin Super Goose 10. So the guy had the right idea. This is one of these magnificent shotguns that nobody sees because everybody's shooting Benelli Super Black Eagles or whatever. But I mean, look at the scale of this thing. It's a 36-inch barrel, I think. Probably, yeah. And it's got the Marlin bullseye, it's got a walnut stock, it's got a bolt action, it's got a clip magazine. So, you know, I guess these are not unknown, but maybe this shotgun isn't too common these days. But to use that expression, back in the day, these showed up. I saw not just one. And by the way, just like with a bolt action rifle, everybody says, well, how do you like use that? These days they look at it maybe like something really slow. I saw guys reloading these Marlins and other bolt action shotguns, the Marlins, the Mossbergs, pretty quick. So they didn't just get one shot at birds. It just goes to show how effective that bolt action is. Anyway, this is a Marlin Super Goose 10. The choke is extra full. There are no removable choke tubes, which is fine. You don't really need them. This was really used in the days of lead shot, and a lot of you are probably familiar with steel shot only. But in those times, lead shot was fine. We didn't know that we were poisoning birds or whatever it is. And if you didn't use buckshot that was wired together, you use number 4 in a 3-inch shell. This is just 3-inch. This isn't 3.5. And some of the shots you could make were amazing. Now, what was the theory? There was a theory, and maybe it's still around, that the longer the barrel, the more velocity you get. And that probably relates to the days when people used black powder. And without going into the details, the idea was that if you used a longer barrel, you could they hit harder. I heard that expression many times as a kid. This gun hits harder, and and maybe they did. I think it had more to do with a better sighting plane, and they swung better, and the barrels had more momentum. At least this is what I noticed when I used guns with 32-inch barrels, like doubles, and I don't remember an over and under like that, but there were some LC Smiths that I had. Anyhow, long barrel, probably better swing, and so you kind of stayed with the duck or with the goose. But the Super Goose Marlin is the king of them all. Nobody made a shotgun that I know of. I guess there were punt guns from the United Kingdom and elsewhere, but this is the 10 gauge. So usually you had a few rounds in here. I don't think this one's been fired. I doubt it. It looks like it's been in a closet forever. I came across it at a gun show and of course picked it up. I didn't notice any brass on the bolt face. Yeah, if this was fired, it was fired at the factory. And then it's just sat. Somebody had a dream to go waterfowling, and like a lot of dreams, they never happen. And then this is the 12 gauge model. Now, one thing I noticed is, as a collector, we have nothing better to do, so we look at the details of guns. So this one doesn't have the Marlin bullseye. It also has a beech stock, whereas this one has the American walnut stock, and it has the Marlin bullseye. And of course, most people are familiar with Marlin lever actions, and that's the focus of collecting. These Super Goose guns, I think they're fantastic, and there is no reason not to take them duck hunting. I don't know how the rest of you are, but it's not imperative for me to go out there with a Benelli Super Black Eagle and kill 8 or 16 ducks. It's more the experience that I go for. Sometimes, I go out with friends or what have you, and it's really the companionship and the feeling of the marsh, and so if we get a couple of ducks, it's fine. Everything on these bolt actions, just like a bolt action rifle, it's super simple, and operating the action, nothing, no surprises, very simple. The Marlin, provided a primitive rear sight. And then we've got the bead front sight, but I'm not sure how you are with waterfowling or wing shooting. I never really see a sight. I don't even remember what I do. I kind of just swing with the bird and then it falls. And so you're probably wondering, did you ever take these hunting? Well, I didn't take the 10. I don't know why. Probably ammunition. I just didn't have 10 gauge ammunition. I did fire it at the range. The recoil is not a big deal, but the 12 is convenient, and it was. I was hunting in a saltwater marsh. Anyway, it was fine. And did I notice any spectacular advantage? Probably not. Did I miss a semi-automatic or a double? Probably not. This was fine. And other than that, you can see it's cheaply made. The sheet metal stampings. It's easy to take apart with this one screw from memory. This just holds the trigger guard. These are wood screws. And this is really a lot cheaper, I think, than the walnut stocked Mag 10. You can see the trigger guard here is actually a trigger guard. It's a part. Not that this isn't, but you can see it's just folded sheet metal. So it's the kind of thing that someone like me would notice, and they put a better recoil pad on it. The barrels are so long on these guns, it's hard to film. Anyway, I think these are spectacular. I think Marlin is a great company and always has been. I guess Remington bought them, which is business, and that happens. So, yeah, I thought I'd show you a couple of guns you don't see every day, and people don't talk about them too much, but in my life they played some kind of a role, and they were interesting and effective. And the last thing I'll say is, when you're standing in a blind with a barrel this long, it's a funny sight, but life's good. All right, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.